Coming up, we're going to be discussing a lot of the past Universal news from, well, last week, this week, and even as recently as this morning. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Universal edition of The Diz Unplugged. This is episode 130 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Let the experts at Dreams Unlimited Travel help you plan the perfect Universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I am your host, as always, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by my co-host, as always, Ryno Clavin.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. So we had last week off. We were celebrating the Mega Meet, the Diz Unplugged Mega Meet.
Yes. It was a good time.
It was.
Had
a
some
lot of
fun at City Walk.
Yeah, we absolutely did. So I really enjoyed myself. I know you did too. We experienced a lot of stuff over at Walt Disney World, but then over at City Walk, we finally found out what it's like to have a $150 drink at Pat O'Brien's, which
Big drink.
Yeah, if you were there, you know the story very well, and that's all I have to say about that. So just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came out to all our meets, who came to see us and all that good stuff. So we really do appreciate it. For the Diz as a whole, celebrating 20 years was a huge milestone. But then on top of that, we were able to raise over $60,000 at our event to push us over raising $500,000 for Give Kids the World. So really big accomplishment for all of us. But again, it's not our accomplishment as a whole. We couldn't do it without all of y'all out there who help support Give Kids the World, the people who plan the regional meets, people who just randomly donate out of the kindness of their hearts, all of that. So thank you guys so much for helping make an impact alongside all of us. Mm-hmm. But one of the issues of being gone for so long means we have missed quite a bit of what's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And by the world, I mean the universe. So
lots of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm still talking like that.
Lots of stuff indeed, and some of this stuff is literally breaking as of late last night, early this morning because of time zone differences. So I don't think we are going to waste any more time. We're just going to jump right into it and start covering what's kind of happening in the world. And the very, very big news that we have to report out of Universal Studios Japan is that they have finally celebrated the groundbreaking of Super Nintendo World.
I'm very excited. I only saw you pulling the clips from this, but it's a cute video.
Oh yeah, no, it was a really cute video. They had a ceremony with I apologize, I'm going to butcher it. The guy who is the current creative director of Nintendo, then Mark Woodbury from Universal Creative, one more guy, and they all were on hand at a celebration along with Mario, who was doing like a little side scrolling action and hopping and bouncing, and they use that as a cool little way to officially say that they are breaking ground on Universal Studios Japan. But the greatest part doesn't come from them just breaking ground. It is that Mark Woodbury himself was on hand to announce that one of the things that would be coming to Universal Studios Japan, putting all speculation to rest, even though I think it hasn't been speculation for a long time because we've all just accepted it and have taken it as word, some of us more than others. But Mario Kart will be brought to life in Super Nintendo World.
Very exciting.
Yeah,
very exciting. It's exciting announcement, but it's also now the mind can race with how are they going to make this?
Oh, absolutely. And, the quote they use for it is, it's brought to life in an exciting new state-of-the-art attraction that will raise theme park entertainment to an entirely new level. So when you say that, I mean that sets some high expectations. That makes it sound like it's going to be the end all be all of attractions out there at Universal parks, which I think that's what we kind of all hope it is. I still have a little bit more. I have a little bit more hope put into the Donkey Kong attractions that will certainly come one day. So because we remember back to that patent that was put out for the ride track mechanism that basically made it look like mine carts jumping. So I still think there's 100% chance we're going to see Donkey Kong in the future. But Mario Kart, that's right up there with it. I think that's probably going to be the most anticipated, most talked about attraction up to its actual opening. Even at Universal Studios Japan, people will flock over just to see this attraction, I'm sure.
Mario Kart or the Donkey Kong?
Mario Kart. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if Universal Studios Japan is going to get a Donkey Kong section. Their park is even more constricted, from what I understand, than ours are. So I think they might be stuck with just Mario, and then the blessing of our parks being willing to just erase the past in order to put the future in. I think we're more likely to see it. Maybe not even Hollywood, maybe just us, but that's it's all possible. So if you've forgotten, Super Nintendo World should be opening in 2020, just in time for the Tokyo Olympics, which I wish we could be there for it. Who do we have to sleep with to get out there?
Well, I think you know the answer.
Okay. My wife.
My wife.
Yes. Because that's the only person who will give me the go-ahead to spend all of our money in order to fly out to Universal Studios Japan.
The Olympics and Mario. What an exciting time in Japan. Plus, there's so much. Oh, gosh. Now my mind's like, could we afford it?
I think we could. I mean, we'd have to.
We've got a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do some research.
Yeah, we'll price it out. It out. So that is happening with that. So let's continue down the news line. I wish we had a little fun news jingle, but we don't.
Talking about the news.
Okay, our next news story. Of course, if you're a big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, you may have been paying attention yesterday. Now and I repeat, all of the ticket and vacation packages are on sale. So before, you might remember us talking about the Flex ticket a little while back, which the Flex ticket was essentially basically you could buy it for any of the nights, including a Friday, and it would be a certain cost. If you wanted to buy it for any of the nights, including a Saturday night, only good for one night, but it would cost you I don't have the pricing in front of me for that anymore, so I do apologize on that. I didn't bring up that old information with me, so that's why it's slipping off the top of my head. But those were around $80 just to secure. But now we have our actual our Coca-Cola promotion pricing out, which it's if you want a ticket on a Monday through a Wednesday, only $60 on a Sunday or a Thursday in advance, starting from $60. On a Friday, pricing will start from $64. On a Saturday, pricing will start at $69.99. The frequent fear passes are also out now, with Rush of Fear starting at $92. Frequent fear. For people who don't know, Rush of Fear is basically the first 2 weeks. For frequent fear passes, that starts at $103, and that's every day of the event, including the first Friday and Saturday, but not the rest of the Fridays and Saturdays, except for November 3rd. That's in there. Frequent Fear Plus includes all the Fridays, but leaves out 6 of the Saturdays during the busy times. And then the Ultimate Frequent Fear, that's $200, and that includes every single night of the event. Along with that, they also opened up the RIP tours that you can start booking, whether it's a private one or in the group. And, of course, they also have the Unmasking the Horror Tour, which is where you get the lights on, look around some of the select houses, which now also has in the fine print again this year, after some of the controversy this year, that select houses will the chance to photograph select houses. So basically go in it with the mindset this year that the intellectual property houses will not be photographed at all. But they have the full list of days. We'll have the full list of information on our website. Pricing for the Unmasking the Horror starts at $80 per person for the morning tours. And then if you want the morning afternoon combo tour, that's $130. So I was on the fence about whether or not it was worth it last year. I'll have to wait to decide if I'm going to do it again this year, because I was really bummed out that I didn't get to take pictures of any of the houses, with the exception of Ghost Town, which was a great...
Do they let you, like, is it while the event's going on you can take the pictures, or is it like they walk you in?
It's in the morning and afternoon.
Oh, that's right.
And,
okay, now I remember this tour.
Yeah. So you walk through before everything starts to change over. So basically, they just flip the lights on, so you have a better view inside the house. You can see some of the hidden details. The guides will tell you some of the secrets behind the house, some of the little hidden gems to look at. So definitely an interesting tour. And if you're into like costume and theater design, it's definitely something to do. So you can see like how they craft and how they can make something like in daylight it looks terrible, but then at night when you light it the right way with the sound effects and all that, it just looks menacing and totally realistic. So it's cool for that. But you know, I may do it this year just because of one house in particular that we talked about at length in another episode of what we would like to see from it. But a few weeks back, I believe when I was on my cruise, which caused us to pre-record an episode and all that, and I don't think we did the Volcano Bay one since, and we didn't get to talk about it. But yeah, of course, The Shining house will be coming to Halloween Horror Nights 27 this year. I would love the chance to see this house with the lights on and go through it and see all of the details that they put into it. It's going to be a gorgeous house, potentially one of the best they've ever done on an intellectual property.
Yeah. Do you have the announcement there in front of you? Because it does allude to some things that it will specifically be including in there. Because it references, like I forget who's the creative person behind it, but they were talking about the room, like room 237.
Yes, yeah. So no, we kind of talked about it on that at length episode where we really went into it. Definitely, we know that the twin girls are going to be in it. We know that the blood on the elevators is going to be coming through, and
gosh, I can't wait to see how they do that. I'm assuming projection mapping, but still cool.
I'm thinking that too. We know 237 is going to be in it. They said that the maze would be in it, so it's going to be an epic house of epic proportions.
Just with that like score playing in the background when you're going through too. You know, it's a very stressful score. Very intrigued by this one.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a stressful house to get through as a whole.
A lot of people holding axes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, well, that's going to be the interesting thing, how many Jack Dorrances there's going to be in there. So, honestly, because it is a face character, I don't want it to be a situation where they have all these Jacks, and then you have like one fat Jack, and then one
really skinny
Jack.
tiny Jack. Yeah.
You know,
kind of like them. It's not as bad when they're wearing the mask, but the Michael Myers when you're like, I remember in Hollywood, it was good. Like they were all big guys, and then at the very end was just one little scrawny, skinny fella who I was like, "Are you his like cousin or
we had that
little brother?"
We had that same problem with Leatherface. There was a bunch of really massive Leatherfaces, and then there was one that you can tell that, like, did you used to play like Quasimodo or something? Because it feels like they just took your hunch out and put it in the stomach, and that's all they did. But
we're using those costumes.
Yeah, right. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it. I cannot wait. So people, since they announced the sleuthing, or not, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Since they announced the tickets and all of that, people started sleuthing by going and looking at the code on the website to see. And right now, it looks like, I can't remember what site it is, so I apologize. I want to say it's HHN Rumors. So I hope I'm giving you your proper credit, but it looks like there's going to be 5 intellectual property houses.
They can figure that out from a ticket?
They were figuring it out from the code. So basically, on the front page of the website of Halloween Horror Nights for Orlando, they have a slideshow, and they had open spaces that had like TBD in it.
So they were just counting up the slots that had already been layered into the code.
One of the codes was AHS, the other one was TS. And so American Horror Story, The Shining, and then TBD, TBD, TBD. Because they always feature on the homepage their intellectual properties.
Well, how many do they normally have? What was last year?
Gosh, putting me on the spot. Last year, I want to say was the original houses were Chance, Archaeology, Tomb of the Ancients, Ghost Town, and was that it?
The Fisherman's Wharf? No, that was an outdoor area.
That was Dead Man's Wharf, and that was the Scare Zone. Were those the only? So I would say either 3 or 4 original houses, and then 5 or 6 intellectual property houses. So if I'm literally missing one off the top of my head right now, I feel terrible.
Was Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, American Horror Story. Those 3. The Exorcist. 4. I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah,
sorry.
Just do that. So, yeah. So I think that the 5 sounds right. So hopefully we get, I would love 9 houses if we only get 5. If we get 5 intellectual property. Oh, Walking Dead. Stupid us.
Oh yeah, geez, sorry.
How could we forget
it's
about?
The only
yeah.
I didn't do, or maybe I did do it. I don't know. Just at this point, I'm like, stop with the Walking Dead.
Yeah. No, I think we're both right there on that when it comes to the Walking Dead. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited, regardless of what happens this year for Halloween Horror Nights. We have The Shining. We have the next section of American Horror Story, and that is basically all I need. But I would like more, as long as it is not The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, for that matter.
That'll be the twist. They're like, we're giving up on The Walking Dead, guys, but we're getting Fear the Walking Dead. This time you're in the boat at sea.
Oh, God. And that's when I'll just be like, nope. I will come one night, and that is it. So, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
Krampus.
Krampus.
We forget Krampus.
How could we forget Krampus? So, yeah, what, 6 and 3 then? Yeah. It was last year.
Yeah, and you named all the other ones you were. Yeah. That was it.
So maybe 5 and 4 this year. So that is exciting in terms of Halloween Horror Nights. Now I'm actually going to jump over to the other coast, California, Universal Studios Hollywood. And the reason we are going to bring up Universal Studios Hollywood is because it actually might have an effect on Universal Studios Florida one day. And that is that the Dreamworks Theater will be replacing be replacing Shrek 4D over at Universal Studios Hollywood, which Dreamworks Theater is right now. We only know one thing that will definitely be a part of Dreamworks Theater, and that is Kung Fu Panda. It will be
I love Kung Fu Panda. Skadoosh.
That is exactly right. No, I definitely watched the first Kung Fu Panda.
I didn't see the third one. I saw the second one once in the movie theater, and I enjoyed it. But I just never got around to the third one. I missed it.
Yeah, I don't think I saw the second one either. I definitely saw the first one, and I slightly enjoyed it way back when. But yeah, the Dreamworks Theater will debut with a Kung Fu Panda new videos. So gone will be Shrek 4D, but probably not forever, because the big speculation behind this is that because it is just an interactive theater experience, it's going to be. Oops, sorry, you saw behind the magic there. Because it is an interactive theater experience, you'll be able to constantly update and show off different things. And as you saw in that picture, if you were watching, it's going to be an actual like kind of classic Hollywood theater, not just not just a very set in immersion place like Shrek 4D was out there, having the castle, having like
you go through the dungeon and
even the forest area that they have for the queue. Like, it's kind of hard to say, okay, well, you know what, we're going to update this with a Kung Fu Panda video on the inside now. So this will allow them to really be able to say, well, it's a classic theater. We're showcasing all of DreamWorks Animation's all their movies in the queue by having posters lining the walls. So if we're going to be able to do that, who's to say that we can't just who's to say that why does it have to stay and be Kung Fu Panda? Why can't it be How to Train Your Dragon or Madagascar or
other
ones? That's about where I'm at too. I cannot think of any other ones off the top of my head. Puss in Boots. We'll go with. I know that's Shrek too, but the Puss in Boots plays a really big part in that. So I think it's very very exciting news. We were waiting to see what would happen after Universal ended up purchasing DreamWorks Animation, and I do have to say it also does look promising just from looking at the concept art of what it will look like in the theater. It truly doesn't. It looks like it will almost be on the scale of filler magic when you're watching that at Walt Disney World, because
I do love filler magic.
You're most certainly going to have your one screen in front of you, but they look like they are going to truly make this completely immersive in every way. And so yeah, I am very, very excited for that. It should be a rollicking good time, to say the least.
We're just gonna have to go and experience it when it opens.
Yeah, no, this will be one that I will go and experience as soon as it opens. So,
does it have a date, or did it just a general announcement?
It said sometime in 2018, along with this summer, though, they will start their meet and greet experience. So in the Universal Plaza, which is kind of right beside this, it's always a giant area. They use it daily for
like
all
Lucy,
the characters.
the monsters. Yeah,
they already use it for all that. So now it's going to be like a summer of DreamWorks characters out there. So they'll be meet and greeting throughout the day, from Kung Fu Panda. Oh, Trolls! How did we forget Trolls? We forgot Trolls.
I didn't say Trolls. I don't know.
That great Justin Timberlake movie.
It's got that
Anna
song.
Kendrick,
That song I love.
No, it's it was definitely the hit of.
It's
that already last summer. That was last summer.
That's going to be a wedding song, though.
Yeah.
That song. Well, yeah. They essentially released that single like 6 or 7 months before the movie came out.
Now that is a good point. So that is all happening out at Universal Studios Hollywood, and so now I am going to move back over here, and the first thing we are going to hit is Universal's Aventura Hotel, and that is that they are going to be trying to stand out in a fun way by being a little bit on the techie side. So,
yeah, this sounds cool.
Yeah, no, it really does sound cool. So basically, they're going to have inside every room, they are going to provide an in-room tablet, which I'm sure will look like an iPad of sorts, or
some sort of tablet.
Yeah,
tablet.
Some sort of thing like that. And basically, using the tablet, you'll be able to control the television, the temperature. They say more. I really hope that you'll be able to flush the toilet while you're laying in bed.
Turn on those magic fingers in the bed.
Yeah.
Get the bed shaking.
Oh, it'll be like, when
Bart, like in The Simpsons.
I see it as like, after a long day of walking around the parks, you go and you get the biggest, greasiest thing at Countfish, and then eventually you go back to, you go back to Aventura Hotel and Dad runs straight to the bathroom, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make sure we keep flushing while this is happening, just
Courtesy
in case.
flush.
Yeah, and maybe even the curtains will be electronic too, moving back and forth. I don't know. We could be way overthinking this, and it could end up being literally just.
I didn't even get
TV
into the
and
bathroom,
temperature.
so you got farther than I did.
Oh, I always go for the bathroom. But yeah, so this, I think that using that, making it kind of a smart room, a lot of people out there are turning their houses into smart houses. So it's only fitting that Universal kind of makes their hotels in this exact same way too. Make it feel more like home. I know I am very excited to get in and try and mess around with that and see how that experience is. And then to continue the techiness, they are also going to have a virtual reality game room. So who knows if this is instead of having an arcade, or if this is their version of an arcade, but they will have a VR game room in which I guess they will just have a bunch of virtual reality
I was just going to say, a room where people just go and sit and put their headsets on.
I guess that's essentially
just
what
put
it's
them in the
gonna be.
rooms then.
Yeah, well, that'd start to get expensive. That's 600 rooms.
Oh,
So,
yeah, that is a good point.
yeah,
Never mind. They need like 6 of them.
yeah, they probably need like 10. My thought is, are they going to have like a bucket in the middle of the room so that way when all these people are sitting there doing VR and getting really sick, everyone could just turn around, throw one up a little quick and then get right back to whatever VR they'll be doing. But on top of that too, they will also have the dive-in movie experience like they have at all of the other hotels. This is a Universal staple, but here they say they're also going to have an underwater speaker system, the same way that Hard Rock Hotel has the underwater speakers in their pool. But from the way they made it sound, I would think that they are going to make sure that the soundtrack for the movie, not the soundtrack, the
audio,
the audio track for the movie will also be playing underwater. So, as I so eloquently put it, when your kids are drowning each other, at least they'll still be able to pay attention to what's happening in the movie.
Yeah,
I
multitasking.
Think, no, it's good. Just because one kid is being really nasty to another kid, that doesn't mean they should have to miss out on what's actually happening in Kung Fu Panda. So, because if you miss 2 minutes of Kung Fu Panda, you've missed the whole movie.
I mean, I would not turn my head away for one moment from the first one. So
yeah,
I saw that movie. Cool. I mean, I've seen that movie a lot.
Skadoosh. So you love your Jack Black.
I really do. I love the Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, you do, and that's okay. So, what once seemed like important news has now kind of like fallen into obscurity, and that is that Fast and Furious Supercharged finally set its opening time frame. So, before they were just saying that originally it was supposed to open up in 2017, and then they announced that, they didn't even announce. It kind of just made its way onto the construction walls, opening in like 2018. And so then we knew, okay, it's pushed back a year to 2018. Yeah. Now we know it will open in spring 2018, which to me isn't a surprise. If you've been paying attention to the construction as it's been coming up, it went from disaster just being fully demolished very quickly to all of a sudden you have the structure up for this massive building in the background, and then before too long after that, the building's completely enclosed and details are starting to be put on the outside. So just seeing how quickly they put up the building, I know it's a lot more intricate inside, but just seeing how quickly that went up, I can only imagine how fast they are going to get what's done inside. So
wasn't there like that announcement they made that they would have one new attraction open every year?
At least one new attraction open up every year. So
maybe it got pushed back because something else in 2018 fell through, or maybe they were just like, take your time a little bit more.
That could also be
Supercharged this one.
That could also be the case. Maybe they heard the feedback that people were, when it was announced, people just assumed right off the bat that it was going to be a pumped up version of the Fast and Furious attraction. Yeah, no, I still assume that, but hopefully they're taking the feedback from people saying, make it a little different. Make it a more unique experience from Hollywood. I mean, granted, that's what they did with Kong. They tried to make it a little bit more different than just seeing it on the tram tour. They should do the same for this, but I think they need a little bit more meat, because if it is a fully complete screen attraction, they have to do something to make people want to go here and be a part of this. So
is Paul Walker in the Hollywood one?
No, it has Vin Diesel and
did he pass
Dwayne
away
The Rock
before they did it?
Yeah, I want to say that he did. So that I want to believe that he did.
I guess he did. I guess he passed away in it would have been like 2013 at this point. Wow, that was like 4 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, then definitely.
No,
sorry.
you got Dom, you got Hobbs, you got Roman, you got your Tyrese. I know you love Tyrese.
Is Luda in this?
No.
Well,
actually,
I don't know what the point is.
No, see, they're basically all in it. So Michelle Rodriguez is in it too, and you've seen it in Hollywood.
I just don't remember.
It's all their voices. Then the entire thing is just this fake CGI.
Well, my favorite is Dom grabbing what I thought was a miniature helicopter, and it turns out it's actually a drone. And I didn't know drones could carry 215-pound men around, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm
assuming 215. He's probably heavier than that. He's pretty much all muscle.
No, I mean,
I think he's tall. I don't know.
I think that Vin Diesel fans. I know Vin Diesel does have something, he has a clause that he can never lose or something like that, according to other podcasts that I've listened to, and I do believe that.
He has a what?
Some of the podcasts I listen to make claim that there's like a clause in his contract that in the Fast and the Furious movies, he can never lose a fight to anyone. So
interesting.
And some people are saying that The Rock has that deal now too. So
so they can never face off against each other.
Yeah, anymore. And I don't know the validity to that. I mean, it's one of those ridiculous statements that probably is true. Because Vin Diesel thinks he is so much better than he really is.
Well, now we know Jumanji is going to be no match for The Rock. So,
yeah, but we'll move on from Fast and Furious Supercharged because I know that doesn't appeal to a lot of people. Yeah. But one thing I think that does appeal to a lot of people, of course, Despicable Me 3 will be coming out this summer.
Yeah,
very very sooner than later, and
I'm excited for it. I don't know. I enjoy them all.
Yeah, I know you do. So
and I know you don't love Minions, but
no, I didn't love the movie Minions. I really enjoyed Despicable Me. I liked to a lesser degree Despicable Me 2. I dislike the Minions.
I do agree. The first movie is still my favorite, but it's just because Gru's like a bad guy in the first movie.
Yeah, no, the first movie was just magic. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to recapture that for the third one. I'm not sure if they should. Going the twin route and having Drew come in.
Oh, no, I'm excited for that. I feel like it's stupid, but I like the kind of stupid I love, and the 80s villain, I don't care. I'm all in.
It'll be interesting, but yeah, so right now through August 19th, you're able to meet Gru, Drew, and the Minions. So
Gru and Drew?
Gru and Drew.
Oh, my.
So Gru, Drew, and tourist Minions, along with Mel, will all be over near Kid Zone, and you can take your pictures with them over there. And some of you, if you watched our video of, I think, I don't know.
What?
No, we don't have that yet. Never mind. So, sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. I thought that I already went over and filmed all this stuff, but I haven't. We've just been too busy.
Just making up work.
Yeah, I am making up stuff that I've done now. But yeah, if you're riding Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, when you get off the attraction, you will see the new jail minions that will be minions wearing their
prison
garb. Yes, and you'll also receive your very own temporary minion tattoo along with that. So the meet and greets for that are 9:20, 10:20, 11:20, 1:20, 2:20, and 3:20. For the meet and greet I talked about before with Drew, and all of them, that is 11:50, 12:50, 1:50, 2:50, 4:25, and 5:40. And the Despicable Me 3 characters are all taking a part of the Universal Superstar Parade that is like 7 o'clock every single night. So they're going to kick off the parade kind of like when Kubo was coming out last year. They kicked off the parade. So yeah.
Does Kubo still come out?
No. No, that's a
temporary
thing only. So, and you know what? These could, they said through August 19th, so these could easily be a temporary only thing. So get out and see them if you're really mega fans of these movies. So that is going to do it for all the news, with the exception of one more item. So I wanted to talk about it because we haven't had the chance to talk about it yet, and that is the Dark Universe. And the reason I want to bring it up is specifically because
The Mummy?
The Mummy will be released tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Friday, June 9th. Yes.
No. So it is coming out tomorrow, and of course, Ryno is going to have a review of it at some point in time. I'm not sure if that will be later tonight or tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon.
Hopefully we go see it tomorrow morning before your trip, and then I'll do a review afterwards. Or if we see it tonight, I don't know. Whatever. It'll probably be up by Friday afternoon, but I would say it's probably going to be audio only. So look for the audio feed.
Well, yeah, no,
on that one.
If I'm part of it, it absolutely will be only audio only, because I am leaving for vacation starting tomorrow afternoon, and I just will not have time to sit down and do a full video of it.
Yeah.
It takes so much more effort. But let's talk real briefly about what's going to happen in the Dark Universe. Of course, it's going to be the shared universe, all based around Universal classic monsters and their new reimagining. Starts with the Mummy.
It was originally supposed to be Dracula, right? Untold, and then they kind of backed off from that because it didn't have the reception they wanted, or
exactly, yeah.
They retooled the idea.
Dracula Untold got dropped from it. The next film that is set out to be will be Bride of Frankenstein. That's supposed to be released in 2019.
Directed by Beauty and the Beast's director Bill Condon.
Which really kind of bothers me. And they still don't have a Bride of Frankenstein set in stone yet. It's going back and forth. Is it going to be Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
Is it... I can't even remember the name of the other actress that is like the front runner for it right now.
As far as I know, they really want it to be Angelina Jolie. So,
but I mean, she would make a great Bride of Frankenstein. She's got the look. I mean, that is her look. So that's coming then, and then after that will be Creature from the Black Lagoon, then The Invisible Man.
Do these have directors attached to them, or they're just
no?
This is the
last one is Bill Condon,
but somehow they have Johnny Depp attached to be the Invisible Man.
Yeah, and of course they have for playing Dr. Jekyll is.
Yeah, the Mummy's going to introduce that character of Dr. Jekyll, who is
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so Van Helsing was coming, then Wolfman, then
another Wolfman,
then a plain Frankenstein movie, not Bride of Frankenstein, just a regular Frankenstein movie.
With Javier Bardem.
Then Javier Bardem, and then Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, and then
they added Dracula back in, huh?
Finishing off with Hunchback of Notre Dame. So
I knew I
those
had
were
heard
the big two updates.
I'd heard they'd added that the Phantom and Hunchback into the universe. So they are going to do a Dracula movie too, huh? So is the idea that all of these are going to be modern retellings? Are they all following that?
Yeah, they're going to be modern retellings, and they're all going, it's like a Marvel Cinematic Universe or DC. It's going to share the same actors.
And I'd heard that the glue that ties it together is this group that Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll is leading, which is essentially these like secret military organization.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very interesting on how it plays out. A lot of that is going to also be based on the reception of The Mummy, which right now is getting not so kind reviews, but people are still, some are saying that it could be one of Tom Cruise's best openings, but other people are saying no, be prepared for it to fall kind of in the 30 million range. So
worldwide open, his best worldwide open, because it's saying it's going to rake in 175 million worldwide, but it's just not going to do well here.
Yeah,
because apparently he's still got major playing power international. I still like Tom Cruise.
Oh, so I love Tom Cruise.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I know everyone's well, he jumped on the couch and he's weird, and I don't know him. I don't. I just enjoy his movies.
Yeah, it's been a long time since that. If you haven't seen where the Mission Impossible franchise has gone since then
or Live, Die, Repeat. The Edge of Tomorrow is phenomenal. I think that is it was a sleeper hit, but it was one of the best more original movies I've seen in a long time. And I watched that movie on repeat. I watch it at least like two times a year since it's come out. So
no, he's been doing great work. So I hope that Mummy is a success. I cannot wait to see it. And actually, next week we will be doing an episode all based around the Revenge of the Mummy to kind of celebrate the Mummy coming out this past week. So
are we going to rewatch all the Mummy movies?
Absolutely not. But
your favorite, the third one?
You will have that to look forward to. Us talking about Revenge of the Mummy next year, but the reason, or next week. And the reason I want to end it with this is because the Dark Universe, I think even if the Mummy kind of fails, the Dark Universe will have to have an impact because they're going balls to the wall with this. I don't think, I think they may tweak and adjust how they come at the movies, but I think they're still all going to happen. Maybe some will get dropped. Maybe others will just be pushed around and changing up the order. I really don't know what's going to come, but I think the Dark Universe is going to have 3 total effects on Universal as a whole. And the very first one, I think that the Mummy absolutely will have to have a presence at Halloween Horror Nights this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when Dracula Untold came out, there was the Dracula house.
Which was a terrible house.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard it was a terrible movie, too. Well, Eli liked it, but I don't trust his
Oh, no. It was a really bad movie.
He just likes Luke Evans. So
yeah. No, it was a really bad movie.
I hadn't seen it yet. I almost bought it because it was $8 and it came with a free ticket to the Mummy. And I was like, I don't even think I could do this.
No. It's not worth that. No. It's like just find a friend who, for some reason why they bought it and then asked to borrow it with the intention that you might not even watch it. You might just give it back and be like, well, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those movies. So
that's too bad.
I absolutely think that the Mummy will be one of the intellectual property houses. I wouldn't be surprised if it's very quickly announced right now after the movie debuts, but at the same time, maybe they have a backup plan this year. Maybe they're on the fence saying, well, if the movie is a complete bomb, we don't want to put out the movie and then make a house based all around this movie and then it's a complete failure. Because one of the things when Dracula Untold came out, the house debuted before the movie came out.
Oh, that's right, because the movie came out at the end of October. Yeah. So the house would have started in the middle of September.
So we had a good idea of what the movie was going to have in terms of tone based on that house. And there
was just nothing memorable about that thing. There was no iconography because you didn't see the movie yet, so you don't know.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. But yeah, so I think maybe that could have an impact on it, but maybe they have another way around it. Maybe if this Mummy movie isn't a big success overall, maybe they can do Mummy through the years and start off with
like the classic black and white.
Yeah, the classic Mummy and start there and then go through to the
that would be interesting.
Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, different tone, different style, different scares, and then end off with this final version. So it might not tell a cohesive story at all, which is something that I think they strive for when possible, but at the same time too,
I do love that Brendan Fraser Mummy. Like, so I wouldn't be upset if they did a throwback to all the mummies,
So that's something, I don't know how it's going to happen, but regardless, the Mummy has to have a presence to continue to put forward on this Dark Universe. The next thing, I think, hopefully, what happens because of the Dark Universe, maybe we'll get a refreshed
the cafe
horror makeup show.
Oh no! Oh yeah!
So right now, I think we have a love-hate relationship with the horror makeup show here, in that we love the idea of the show.
Yeah.
But if the cast on stage just isn't quite there, then the show definitely
is it themed to American Werewolf?
That's one of the portions. They show like the use of the prosthetic masks and robotics on how it did the transformation. They do the one demonstration on dummy knives.
Yeah,
and how
I just always forget. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's one of those you go every so often because it doesn't really leave that impact anymore.
Yeah, and the big build up is to get to the end. We're gonna fire up
and they bring the monster alive.
Yeah, the monster alive.
Yeah, bring a mummy in there. Throw a mummy in there.
So yeah, I think they could do that. But yeah, that leads on. It's beyond just a horror makeup show. I think they could use it to revitalize all of the Classic Monster stuff they have there. Not that I want to see that go. Like Classic Monsters Cafe, while the food in there is atrociously bad, I think that is, in terms of theme and setting, that is my favorite quick service restaurant. Have you never walked inside there?
Yeah, I like walked in briefly.
Yeah, it's beautiful on the inside. Each room is themed to a different classic monster movie, and there's all little sorts of hidden Easter eggs in there. It's really pretty, and I really enjoy that. I don't know if I'd necessarily want to see that updated.
I just want some new life in it. And you don't even have to change it. It could just be a change up of the menu. Maybe the monster thing on top gets updated.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They added a mummy diorama already to the horror makeup show. So where you can see some of the props and making of photos of the movie.
Of the new one?
Yeah. So why not also put that in Classic Monsters Cafe? Just a little section.
Yeah.
I don't know where they'd put it, but, just give it a little love in there, too. And then some people are clamoring. I thought this would be dead and buried, but some people are clamoring for Beetlejuice to come back with a brand new, with all the classic monsters again, but with updated versions, modern versions of it. I think that sounds like a horrible idea.
Where would he even go? He's got nowhere to go anymore.
Well, my problem with that is I think
you just missed the music. I know.
I think part of the reason why they did finally kill it is maybe for the same reason as why Star Wars Weekends, Star Wars Weekends partially disappeared because of the
construction,
but then also too, Disney no longer wanted the characters and properties to be misused with it. So
once they were there,
gone was the dance off, gone was Mickey dressed up as Jedi and stuff, and maybe Universal thought of that too. They needed the space for Beetlejuice, but maybe they also said too, we're about to relaunch with this dark universe.
Let's
and these
respect
classic
the
monsters.
properties. Yeah.
If we're having them sing crappy pop songs from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, why? Like, how is that like saying, "Come see our awesome new movie, The Mummy," or "Go see The Mummy over there"?
It would be cool if they kind of did a throwback. So even if there's not a house at this year's Halloween Horror Nights, maybe if they did throwback to the Scare Zone from like 2 years ago, the classic monster one, but they updated it, or I don't know what they did, but they made it, maybe put it in a bigger area or something.
I think every couple of years they need to revisit the classic monsters to keep that aware. That is the reason why Universal is here to this day, is the classic monsters. So they should never be forgotten.
Do you think the attraction's going to get a refresh?
Well, that's number 3. If it's a success, if it is a huge global success, of course Universal wants people coming in not just from the United States but overseas, and that's where a lot of the power is with Fast and Furious, not just
it's
domestic.
A big global
it's
appeal.
A big global
it's huge
appeal.
In China,
and that is exactly why they are pushing to have it in the parks. If The Mummy is a huge global success, as much as the Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios Florida is a fan favorite, I don't see how they could possibly not update it. So The Mummy,
honestly, I'd be okay with it. We're not talking about it tearing down, so it's essentially still going to be the attraction. Like
even if they just retheme it, we haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how they could rework the new characters into it, but they could still literally keep the same part of the same ride track, all of that, just update the look of it. I don't. Well,
they
think
could
that would
even.
be too difficult.
Honestly, it would be like add Tom Cruise to the end of the video, or Sophia Patel. I forget how to say her name. The girl from Star Trek, and then you know what I mean? It requires like replacing an animatronic here and there, which are already like, I mean, they're just skins. They're not like state of the art animatronics.
And you know what? This would give them a chance to put in some more screens. And just put that in and rework it that way. So, but I think if this is a success, there's no reason in keeping the Brendan Fraser series alive.
Well, it's not even that. It's just I like the first one. I love the first one. I don't dislike the second one. I've only seen the third one the one time, and I don't remember it at all. But it's just weird because the second one, the child in the second one, and you're like, that's an adult in the third one, and that movie is also now almost 10 years old. So like, it does need that sort of revitalization, just because it's part of that old part of Universal, which was still very much about this is how we're making the movie. Whereas now I think they have an opportunity to turn it into a transportive, immersive environment. Yeah. With not like they probably don't even have to redo the queue. Because the queue is not like you're in the movie. Essentially, once you pass the prop area.
I think that's the only part they would have to really remodel is change that off from being like have the props that clearly show that they're making a new Mummy movie. Just that's all they'd have to do. But again, if it's a global success, I think that will definitely be impacted. And that's the three ways that I could predict that the Mummy in the Dark Universe will have an impact on Universal. So, and with that kind of wraps us up with the news for this week. Last week too, 3 weeks, I guess. We missed a lot of news throughout the past couple weeks. I do apologize for that. We try to keep up with it, but sometimes it's just out of our control. So for links to some of the stories we've talked about, most of them, hopefully, check out our show notes page at disunplug.com. That's where you can find show notes for this show and every other, as long as links to our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, that you absolutely need to be following. Make sure you're liking and commenting on our video right now about what you think about everything we just talked about, as well as sharing it too. Sharing is caring. And make sure you're also, if you're listening to this, make sure you are subscribed to us on iTunes and leaving feedback there too. Even when we're terrible, we still appreciate the feedback. So thank you guys so much out there for watching and listening. Ryno, thank you so much for sitting along here with me and
you're welcome.
having this fun show. This was a really good time. So I really enjoyed it. And so yeah, next week, like I said, we will be back with one more episode. This one will be all on the Revenge of the Mummy. We are actually going to start with the original Mummy movie in the 30s, kind of go through the course and history of the Mummy overall, going all the way up through those Brendan Fraser classics. So if you just sat here and said to yourself, you know what? They didn't really talk enough about Brendan Fraser. Well, you are going to get your dream come true coming, because we're talking about that. And then we will do our review of the ride, how we feel about it, all that good stuff. And as I said, that will be coming to you next week. But for now, we just ran out of time for resolutions. Sugar. So unfortunately, we have to go. Thank you guys again. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.